Good morning, Broncos Country. That is how it's done. Yes, you
Friday,
are
baby.
listening to the DNVR Broncos Podcast.
That's right.
Correct show, wrong hosts.
Yeah, we're way off today.
Yes. It's a full-on takeover from the footy boys.
The
over
real
here.
football boys are here, baby.
The people who can talk, ball, hang out at a tailgate, true men of the people.
That's right.
We are not on business trips. We are not traveling for pleasure.
And we're not playing golf.
We are not playing golf. We're not in Las Vegas covering conference media tournaments.
Yeah, we're not hanging out with Shadur Sanders and that Caleb Williams.
Good job, Hugh.
We were
Corrected
talking
yourself
Russ,
quick.
so it's in my head.
He is Mitchell Carroll.
What's up, Broncos, baby?
Dude, what a time. Huh?
Dude, I'm at my peak right now.
I think so.
We did bets and pids yesterday.
Yep.
And we got Broncos, TDSP, bets, bang, bang, bang today. Let's go.
Some Women's World Cup in our lives. It's just like a beautiful Friday in the Mile High City. We got Yaya behind the sticks over there. It's just a glorious time. I think the closest you've come to some good old-fashioned Broncos content on our airwaves, Mitch, is being the one who on our Broncos tailgates on Sunday mornings during football season, when we had the old booth down there, you'd come up with the Wheel of Terror.
Mm-hmm.
And dish out some fun
punishments.
Yeah, so
The hot sauce shots.
Yeah, exactly.
The double shot.
Exactly.
Mostly it was just how miserable can we make Hank before 10 a.m.
Right, which I think the chat here could appreciate.
Yeah, that's right.
Certainly. Zach will be back next week. I saw that he's a sicko, on his honeymoon, but he's tweeting out Broncos camp less than a week away, or a week away exactly. So we love him. He loves ball, and we love Zach. But I'm excited to have you on, Mitch.
Thank
told
you.
me, put me in, coach.
That's what I said.
I've got some Broncos takes.
Dude, I'm taked up right now. All I have is me and Riley in the merch cave sitting there talking about Pone Doggies next season. He's way higher than I am on it. I think I'm just scarred, but cautiously optimistic.
There's like optimism fatigue.
Yeah.
We've had 6 off seasons of, I think Shermer and Case Keenum, or I think Musgrave and Joe Flacco. I really think they've got it figured out.
I can only predict 11 wins so many times.
And for once, we felt like we weren't crazy for saying Hackett, Russell Wilson was the combo that was taking us back to
I was ready, dude.
And that really has us like, oh, gosh, am I doing this another summer?
Yeah.
But yes, you are. So giddy up. Good for Riley being the optimist.
He is. He's all in.
But before we get into your Broncos takes, some fun little games.
Right.
We watched PFM's new hit Netflix show, Quarterback. Good stuff.
I was captivated.
Yeah, it's really good. I mean, Netflix has this down where they've done this with, it started with the Formula One series. The Tour de France one was great.
Yeah, Sunderland.
Yeah, Sunderland was a good one. And now they're doing these for all the sports. Peyton Manning, executive producer, he does the intro. He's already talked about how they're signed up for year 2 because it's been such a hit show. Rumors yesterday coming out, Russ being in the mix for year 2.
Right. I hope so.
Oh, that would be amazing.
Only because I have to know how.
Will Sean Payton allow it?
Have to know how weird he is, in his personal life.
Yes,
because he has to be a weirdo, and not like a.
It would do wonders for his brand potentially, though.
Because and not to spoil too much, but Kirk Cousins is the most Mayo person ever.
Well, this is what I was thinking: is would Russ be signed on to fill the Kirk role?
Kirk for
as
sure.
the mid-level veteran
mid-level,
quarterback.
boring.
Yep.
underachieving,
Yep.
needs a late run in his life quarterback. Yes.
Well, what's funny is I'm watching episode 2.
Yeah.
And I'm reminded of that legendary Wisconsin-Michigan State game where Kirk throws a Hail Mary at the end.
Yep.
They're the same exact age. They're both 34.
Yeah, makes sense.
You know, and Kirk was under a new head coach, new play caller last year. They had that
As
great
was Russ.
run. And yeah, as was Russ. Russ is
Back at it again.
back at it again. So it felt like there were a lot of parallels with the Kirk Russ situation. I wonder if he's kind of going to fill that role.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's get into some episode 1 takeaways. The first note I have is Mariota super chill. Too chill?
No. If anything, I need him to be watching this at home, taking notes on how to up the Q rating. You need to go more chill. Brand needs to be chillest quarterback available.
There are times I wonder if he has a pulse.
I love it. That's the island lifestyle. Truly, truly on display. He lives on his own time.
Yeah.
Because like look, I'm not a native Hawaiian, obviously,
Yes.
but I've been there a few times.
Uh-huh.
And let me tell you, if I lived there all the time, I too would not be worried about anything ever.
Yeah, it's a fair point. He does have that vibe. There are times when compared to the other two,
Yes.
you watch that and it's kind of like, yeah, I guess it does kind of check out that he's been less successful than
I loved
Cousins or Mahomes.
and I guess that was more in the second episode, so maybe we'll pause on that. But just like how they don't really start out with like an intense, it's not immediate game film. You know, it starts out with the wives,
Yep.
starts out with some home life, maybe some training. Which like, look, everyone knows that the Brittany Mahomes, Jackson Mahomes, annoying TikTokification of our Sundays hasn't always been what we really want to see. And then all of a sudden by episode 2, I'm like, oh, they're so cute. And I don't love that as a Broncos fan who hates Mahomes and the Chiefs. But it was like, oh, look at their family. They're having fun.
Yeah.
The big miss. And I was like, oh, I wonder if they'll get to that. You noticed, I'm sure. There is no Jackson Mahomes in this.
None.
And he is.
They made sure of that.
But they made sure, but he is literally basically tied to Patrick Mahomes' wife all the time. We see them together more than we see Mahomes and his wife.
Last season, though, we did see a little start of the break-off from that.
Sure.
And I think you do kind of see it in this. Like, Jackson's on the sideline sometimes when Mahomes goes to kiss his wife. And, you know, and you'll see Jack. But, like, when she's in the stands for, like, the Bills game in episode 2, he's not there.
Right, which was just strange.
Yeah.
It was, and I think that was just good editing. I think there's a lot of group family shots where it's like,
could be
he is off frame and not by much. But yeah, completely. So if that was one of the reasons you didn't want to watch this show specifically, I know a lot of Broncos fans probably don't want to spend their time watching the Mahomes family.
Yeah.
At least the most annoying part of the Mahomes family is not involved in this at all.
Yep, that's
so
true.
far.
That's true.
Yeah.
And I have scouting notes on Mahomes for both the first 2 episodes. So that's the lens I'm watching this through. Another lens I've watched Mahomes through in these first couple episodes is obviously, you know, Jokic is such a fascination because he's the superstar athlete in our town, and he's so different from any other athlete, right? Obviously, post Kobe's death, so much talk about the Mamba mentality. The Last Dance is such a great insight on what a kind of psychopath Michael Jordan is, right? And I mean, you know, we've seen like guys like Manning in this town and Joe Sakic. I mean, athletes. Right. And how they differ from a Jokic. And Mahomes has his own style. I mean, I think he's as uneven as any of the guys I just listed.
Yes.
He's got more highs and lows. It's been fun watching it with my sister who's in town from Italy and doesn't watch any NFL. And she's like, wow, he's way more emotional than any of those guys.
You know what's funny is I just assumed he was like an aw shucks, super positive like guy, just from because all we really see of him is, interviews at halftime or end of the game.
Right.
Maybe sitting on the desk
on
like after a Monday night or in a commercial. Right.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you see him talking that shit.
Oh,
but
he's crazy. He's crazy.
And I mean, look, everyone talks. I mean, it's the NFL, right? Like,
sure.
There's nobody more jacked up than someone who makes a big play in a football game, right? Except for maybe like scoring one of the 3 goals in a Premier League game or something like that, right? Like, it is peak hype. And to see him get in to these guys' faces, I loved it.
Yeah, so let's get to the Max Crosby battle that's at the end of episode 1. Bigger takeaway for you, Mitch. Don't poke the bear, or you can actually get under his skin. He's kind of being a whiner there. Like, he's really, like, getting frustrated.
He poked me in the arm.
Yeah, he's like, oh, you just punched me. Obviously, like, then he gets it together, makes some touchdown throws, and then he's definitely talking that shit. But it did feel like, damn, like, again, like, thinking of guys like Jordan or Jokic, or I've seen the internet, my YouTube feed has been some, like, why you never talked shit to Tim Duncan videos.
Right.
Which are legendary.
Dude, for real.
It's definitely not the case with Mahomes.
No, I think someone better than Max Crosby should be taking notes on this episode.
I do too.
Because there are better pass rushers than Crosby in this division.
Yeah. It's also crazy how much respect he gave him.
Right. I mean, he had a nice season. I'm not trying to hate on Crosby too hard. I mean, he is a Raider, but
yes,
he's pretty
Please
good.
hate on him.
Yeah. He's
very good. But the other thing you notice, Mahomes has this strategy of like trying to butter up opposing pass rushers, and he mentions how he does this because he thinks if they think he's a nice guy, they won't finish hits as hard.
Right.
Take notes. Do not fall for this trap. You can see Nick Bosa in the Niners game kind of like letting up on him.
No.
Finish your tackles. Put them to the ground. Do the thing. I've got some great Kirk Cousin stuff I want to get into.
Absolutely.
First, though, Breckenridge Distillery. Some hype graphics. Hype on the bottom. Here, you're going to see all these pop up. Breck Distillery, man, this is some of the highest end bourbon in the world, the official bourbon of the Denver Broncos. I've had it before. They've been, with us for a few years now.
I feel like that was every tailgate episode.
That was every tailgate. Makes you warm and fuzzy right here. Great way to start a Broncos game day. And if you're not a sicko like that, it's just, great for a fun night out with the homies or after a nice dinner, what have you. It's really delicious and made here in Colorado, in Breckenridge. It's some of the highest awarded craft bourbons in the U.S. It's an American-style whiskey with a high rye mash. So, yeah, they're amazing. We've tried it. We've enjoyed it. Go look them up online. They have an amazing array of bourbons. They've got their Broncos bottle that's like iconic. That thing looks beautiful. That make for a great gift for any like friends.
Do you know what was included in the gift bags at the golf course today?
What?
For the Summer Classic, DNVR Summer Classic?
What was?
Little shooters of the Broncos bottle.
Dang.
Just tiny little Broncos bourbon.
Dude, that's amazing. That's the kind of stuff you get from our partners and, the DNVR family in general. Check them out. They would make for a great gift. They have been an amazing partner for us.
For real.
Breckenridge Distillery products are available in all 50 states, which is awesome. Shop your local retailer or visit BreckenridgeDistillery.com for home delivery or award-winning Breckenridge spirits. Yes, Mitch.
We have some deals for the World Cup watch parties. So
You
the
wanna lay it on
homies over at Tivoli made a not a seltzer, but the canned cocktails
Yeah.
using Breckenridge distilleries, and they are $25 buckets. You can choose from. There's tequila ones, there's vodka ones, there's a whiskey one, and it's all Breck Distillery booze in the canned cocktail, and you can get a bucket while you watch the U.S. women's national team destroy.
Yeah, that's another great way to use Breck Distillery is in a nice little mixed drink.
Absolutely.
Yeah, good stuff. And then, of course, the guys, Backus and Shanker.
Dang.
Ball knowers, ball lovers, and guys who look out for Colorado. When you get hurt, they're there to help. The beauty is that they help those who are in serious need and have done so for 25 years. It's free until they win money. In your case, they've won over $1 billion for their clients.
Whoa.
They have locations all over the state because they're looking out for you, including neighborhood offices in Denver, Aurora, Inglewood, and Fort Collins. You'll see them on the buses around town. They've been to the DNVR bar. I mean, they're
right down there. I met him.
They're all in, man. If Big Mitch has talked to them, that means they are part of the family through and through. They are in our blood.
That's the checklist.
Absolutely it is. Backus and Shanker, they help with all kinds of injury cases where you weren't at fault. Car accidents, motorcycle, ride shares, pedestrians, trucks. They can even help if you're injured at work. Call them at 222-2222 to find out if you have a case for free. Backus and Shanker wins. Check them out if you need it, man.
Right.
All right. Kirk. What a setup, you know? I mean, with the closet's something insane.
Okay. Well, okay, we're starting there.
That's the stuff.
Wait, which closet? Because it starts on a different closet.
Closet one.
Closet one.
Where
his wife is talking about his
drowning
outfits.
in Kohl's cash. Yeah.
Yo, look. His
shtick grows on you.
Okay, look. I'm a Colorado guy.
Yes.
I rock climb. I'm going on a backpacking trip next month.
Hell yeah.
I go camping. I go hiking.
Hell yeah.
Let me say this.
Lay it on us.
I'm digging the Patagonia button-ups, my guy. I don't think it's a bad look.
It's a dad look. That's for sure.
It's an active outdoor lifestyle look.
The wife embracing it and calling it a classic look, I thought was
okay.
insane.
That was look. That was she was selling.
Insane.
She was selling.
Insane. But the notable thing is him saying he wants to dedicate all his mental decision power to football.
Yeah, and I love
not
that.
Trying to put any thought into outfits.
Which,
His
I
wife
did
picks
notice
out the
that's not
outfits.
entirely true.
That's right. It's not entirely true.
In closet number 2, he's making a lot of decisions.
Number 2, he's making decisions. That's exactly right. Closet number 2, really interesting. I love the part where he's reading his father's scouting report that he wrote up for him as his coach in high school and being like, if you talk to one of our coaches for the Minnesota Vikings, they'd probably tell you about the same.
That was really cool. And it really, you kind of, we think of these guys as like super duper stars, right?
Yeah.
But like when he was talking about how he was like, whoa, I could be a all-state quarterback. Like, that's so cool. And you kind of, to see how the dream progresses and like starts out young.
Yeah.
And not knowing that, like, no, you're an NFL guy. Like, you're going to be you're going to have a 10-year plus career.
Right.
You're going to be paid millions and millions of dollars. You're not just an all-state Minnesota. Where's he from?
Illinois, actually. Yeah.
I just thought that was probably my favorite moment of that.
Yeah, that was really cool. It was cool seeing all the guys in episode 2, kind of their path to stardom. And it's nice.
Yeah.
The Mahomes one is kind of shorter. because it's more his ceremony and number retired at Texas Tech.
Yeah, well, he didn't have. I mean, I didn't even know him in college.
Yeah, I mean, he broke lots of records for a super mediocre, like, kind of a niche team with a crazy offense, So, yeah, seeing Kirk Cousins' path was interesting. And then in episode 1, Broncos through line is, him adjusting to the Kevin O'Connell offense in year 1. The ups and downs of, he's like, I can't believe how smooth week 1 was. And then they kind of get their ass beat in week 2 against the Eagles there. And you do see him going through those growing pains and adjustments. And you wonder how much of that you're going to see in year 1 with Russ and Sean Payton, obviously.
Look, Russ did just have this last year, new coach, right? Like if you could have replaced Cousins with Russ and gotten, well, it would have been a much more interesting home life with, stepdad Future and Sierra and
I think they get out a little more than Kirk does.
Yes, a little bit.
Yeah.
But having the seeing that adjustment and knowing that Russ was going through it at the same time didn't do as well. Not a playoff team.
Yep.
But now he's going to do it with a better coach. Who
Yep.
I think is definitely a better coach than
Hackett
for sure.
Certainly.
Definitely
offensive play caller.
probably a better
certainly.
offensive play caller than Cousins' coach.
Yeah,
Would
Kevin
you think
O'Connell.
than Kevin O'Connell?
I mean, the resumes speak for themselves.
He
no
came
doubt.
off nice.
Kevin
I thought
O'Connell
he had a
comes
good
off
little
well.
appearance.
Oh yeah,
But I do think if any quarterback coach can translate a new system to a guy, you have to. This gave me confidence that Peyton and Russ can get on the same page pretty quick.
another similarity I thought, and I love Andre's comment here. Yeah, Mahomes does come off quite corny.
Oh,
Like
man.
he's
Hamming it
his
up with the
advantage-
pictures for the wife.
yeah.
Like, he's
His advantage is, like, for lack of better terms, and in some ways he's kind of a simple man. Like, he's kind of a dumb jock, and like he lets those emotions run high, but he also like compartmentalizes and moves on quickly is what I get out of this,
really fast processing speed.
Yeah.
I have a question for you, lifestyle-wise, since we're kind of talking more about that than the football so
Yeah.
far. When they go to, like, the fair farm thing,
Yeah.
do you think they rented out the whole place? There was not one other person behind camera, in front of camera. There was no one. No wide shots. There was no one there.
That's a good point. I think,
Like, do you think Mahomes can go to family things like that in Kansas City without just being mobbed
because
like
I was
Eddie Murphy
watching
at a
that, I'm
mall?
wondering, like, man, it's crazy how undisturbed he is right now.
Because there's no way he can go anywhere in Kansas City, right?
No, you're right. And it's kind of, the lighting's kind of like, so
Weird
it's
time.
either early morning or like, sun's going down. It makes sense. Like, sun's going down, you just rent it out the last hour before close and do it.
And he can walk in with his wife and kid,
Yeah.
not be bothered.
Yeah. Yeah, and then there's a camera crew. I mean, shit, Netflix might have just rented it out for him,
I was wondering, do you think, it was, and then my next question was Netflix rent it or,
Yeah, could be.
or Patty Rich guy, $500 million contract?
That's what they're missing with Mariota. Like, they need to start paying for Marcus to go out and do something.
Well, he doesn't have the
literally
kid-
does nothing.
Well, he has a very pregnant wife,
Very pregnant. I mean, astute point. Astute point.
which
Life is
my
different.
wife has not
Life
had
is different.
child yet
Yep.
or is not with child, but you have gone
yeah.
through that process.
I have. Life's different.
You
in
understand that
stuff. Yeah.
towards the end of that, you're not doing much.
You're not.
And they just moved to a new market,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Like,
He's
his
married
whole
to a
family lives in
former
Hawaii.
Oregon soccer.
Yo, those
player.
Oregon soccer kits
Pretty cool.
that looked like the
cool.
the Where's Waldo US kits,
Yeah.
because it's Nike,
Yeah.
right? But it was white with yellow and the green numbers.
Uh-huh.
If you're listening, Nike, Oregon, right here.
Great
Send 'em-
stuff.
Send them to the Pids Pod. I want 'em.
Another Russ through line is episode 1 still Mahomes adjusting to the Tyreek Hill
Yeah,
offense.
yeah.
And you can see in real time him going from less of like a chucker, because that's not always working with the receivers he's got. Though in episode 2, you also see part of that's how the safeties on opposing defenses are playing it. And going to taking the short to intermediate more, spreading the wealth a little more.
Oh, yeah.
And I mean, to me, that's one of the biggest things Russ needs to do. And, you know, like, that's a transition Mahomes was able to make, like, at 27.
I think, you know, Dolcic having having a full off season, training camp.
Yeah.
Well, Sean Payton just having a better understanding.
Yep. Judy being able to operate in that short to intermediate because you have a healthy court, and Tim Patrick would be huge
he can
too.
those quick screen games that Peyton loves. Look, I mean, the other thing that I took as a through line was that Mahomes workout, where he's talking about how, you know, his dad was a pitcher for the Mets, and I think for a bunch of teams.
Yeah.
But so he was also a good baseball player, a good pitcher.
Yeah. And
he was doing workouts that work the muscles to throw from either arm, basically. And, you know, so you're working in here, both arms, shoulders, in that machine where it was like twisting, you know, like how much strength can you get quickly in a short amount of space. Yeah. And knowing that Russ, you know, was a Rocky, in a Rocky farm system at some point. Yeah. And what, you know, just as he gets older, because he's way older than Mahomes, you know, he's, like you said, he's the same age as Cousins. If he's under a little less duress this season, where he, you know, where maybe instead of just getting sacked quickly, he's able to get on the run. Can he make some of these acrobatic throws? We've seen all his crazy workout videos. Is he throwing in some of these workouts that work the muscles to allow you to make the weird throws? Because that was probably the thing I took away from this the most, was just being completely captivated by all the weird arm angles, all the weird throws, all the look-offs. They even threw in the left-handed 10-yard flip over the Broncos defense. Yep. Just to rub salt in the wound a little bit.
It's terrible.
I mean, just overall, it's like, wow, like, you know, you think of like, this is the best quarterback.
And Russ is amazing throwing it on the move.
Sure.
You know? I mean, that's some of his bread and butter.
Right.
And you need to keep doing that, but in like limited spots too, you know? I mean, I think that's where you're finding your advantage. But yeah, that was fascinating. Mahomes and his ability to like keep his core and spine kind of aligned.
And something
while
like where
moving right or moving to his left and throwing on the move like that, you know.
And his trainer,
while keeping his eyes ahead.
His trainer said something like, there's only a 3% drop in power from his right side to his left side. Whereas most professional athletes, pitchers, quarterbacks see a 20% drop in power from his right side to his left side. That's why you could see him roll left, throw at a weird arm angle, and drop a dime.
And still generate enough zip to get there.
He just has this torque. Right. And it almost makes you wonder, like, because, you know, it's always like you're seeing the effect of a young Steph. Now that he's older, you see these guys coming into the league that are chuckers, can run around a bunch of screens. Are we going to see these quarterbacks coming up doing these baseball drills, these baseball throws, these baseball workouts to be better quarterbacks? Right? Like, because you see a lot
of Caleb Williams.
Well, yeah. You see a lot
Zach
of these.
Zach Wilson was like this, you know.
You see a lot of these pass rushers that are doing a lot of yoga and ballet and stuff that makes them more flexible and bendy. Is baseball now going to be that next big help to get into that?
I mean, absolutely. I think we are evolving further from just, you know, the footwork with the 3 and the 5 and the 7-step drops.
It's more about improv
and getting into angle, you know, like getting into a lane where you can actually see over the offensive line and quick angles and stuff like that. But I mean, the other thing is it's such 3 completely different styles of quarterback.
Oh yeah, I mean,
Mariota's doing these quarterback runs that, like, you know, and Kirk does one at the end of that Washington game, right? Like, it's not like those other 2 never do it, but it's far from the bread and butter that it is for Mariota, obviously. And, you know, Kirk is doing, it is the footwork and it is those drops.
He's the classic.
And, dude,
pocket.
That play in episode 2 against Washington, where he just hangs tough. They get the defensive look they're looking for, man coverage, hangs tough, gets it to Justin Jefferson, perfect timing. And as his air's knocked out and he's on the ground and the trainers come up.
I love the mic'd up injury.
Dude, that was so good. For starters, he says, like, I just got my air knocked out. I'm fine. He says that like 4 times. Which, as your air's knocked out, it's easy. But I loved him saying, serves them right for play man coverage. Serves them right for play man coverage.
And then he's like, no, he's down at the 10. Yes, did we score? Did he score? He's like, no, he's down at the 10. He's like, he's down? Oh, I wouldn't have been laying here.
I would have been laying
He's
down.
so nice. But with the Mariota
cool,
running,
man. So cool.
Yesterday, just coincidentally, without watching the show alone, do you know who had the longest rushing touchdown for the Broncos last year?
No.
It was Russell Wilson. It was like a 16, 17-yard run up the left side from shotgun. And that was the longest rushing touchdown. It makes me watch these Mariota runs where that dude, man, I forgot how good he was at Oregon. I mean, that was so long ago. There's so many good Oregon quarterbacks since too that it's like you kind of forget how athletic he was, how dominant. Where it's like he makes that decision to run and it's 10 yards. I mean, it's 10, 15. It was so impressive to watch. Our guy Andre, Sean Payton is close to Andy Reid's level of genius. Intrigued to see how much Russ improves from that. You're right. I mean, just being around smarter guys.
100%.
And look, I think if you sat down Hackett in a room, you're going to walk away impressed with his, the variety, the modernness of his offense, what he knows about the quarterback position and all that stuff. The problem is he had no clue how to manage a game and how to be prepared on a game day. Mm-hmm. And to make those adjustments on the fly. And Sean Payton, being the genius that he is, has seen everything.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's a whole other level. I mean, and even Russ in Seattle never had a tippy top offensive play caller, like someone who's regarded as a true like genius mind. Never, usually with the success they had in Seattle, Russ's offensive play caller would like get a head coaching job. That never happened.
No. It was run, pass, run, pass.
Very rare. So Sean Payton is a whole other level. And there really are things like, Russ throwing on the move, Russ picking his spots on when to just take the easy throw to this, what should be a very talented receiving core, and when to bomb it. And then just those, year one growing pains that are going to be there in the adjustment. I all thought was really interesting. Really cool seeing Mariota back in the Pacific Northwest. Them practicing all week in Seattle. Cool. And you could just see how hyped he was for that game and how much like just seeing Hawaiian flags in the stands meant.
It
Such
was
a small thing, but you can see it literally made. Yes, it got me a little.
It got me. I'm like, I'm a Mariota guy.
I mean, I've always been a
Look,
Mariota
if he's
guy.
backing up Ritter, why isn't he backing up Russ? I saw so much Russ in his highlights. It felt so familiar watching that.
I know. He'll get there one day, maybe. He'll get there one day.
But no, the whole homecoming theme to end that episode, right, where it was Cousins back in Washington, and my wife was watching with me. She watched the second episode with me.
Yeah.
And she didn't really know Cousins' story. And I was like, it's crazy that he ever got a second contract. He was drafted to be a backup to the most hyped quarterback prospect we've seen in how long. And
in that make or break contract year, he makes it all happen.
It was so cool to kind of just revisit that. Because again, so long ago, Mike Shanahan was his coach.
Yeah. Mike Shanahan drafted him, right?
That was to see the theme of that, to see kind of how the family approaches watching those games and like the emotion that they have going back too, like especially because Brittany Mahomes was at Texas Tech with him and in high school with him. Yeah. So it's not just a homecoming for him, it's a homecoming for them.
Nope.
Going, Mariota by himself up to Washington, but practicing on the dogs on the Huskies field.
Right.
But then Cousins and his wife going to Washington,
to
where they just spent so
DC.
long, made their
Yeah.
money.
Yeah.
Kind of went from, oh yeah, he's like a professional quarterback. He might have to be a coach earlier, or go to college, and then to like, no, you're actually like a star player with a giant
As he put it,
contract.
living the dream, being an NFL starting quarterback.
Yeah. And so that was really cool to see. I mean, and this makes me so curious about Russ, because Russ just seems like a football robot to me. You know, kind of like Tom Cruise is an action movie robot, right? Like he probably just like is in like a cryogenic chamber until it's time to film a movie. And Russ kind of seems like the same way. So I just want to see those moments, like, especially with Sierra, because why would you not want to watch Sierra on TV?
For sure.
I'm just really excited to see that sort of thing. I mean, it would have been nice to get him going back to Seattle last season to open it. So there won't be that version this season coming up if he is the guy this season. But man, that really was, I mean, obviously the game film, the mic'd up, all that was great.
Yeah, like Bills Chiefs was fun. Seeing how tired Mahomes got with that constant pass rush, getting after him. So telling in that game, Andy Reid on the sideline asking him, "Are you okay?"
Right. I'm going to take you out. Fuck no.
That was so entertaining, man. It's really entertaining.
I mean, absolutely must watch. Must watch.
Yeah.
If you're
It's
like
cool.
me and you were riding that Nuggets train as long as possible, you got the summer transfer window if you're a soccer head, but all that's kind of died down. To really, I mean, obviously watch DNVR Broncos every day, but to really crank the stoke up for football season, give this a watch if you haven't got there yet.
It was a good one. And this I would enjoy seeing Russ featured on, probably even more than Hard Knocks.
Absolutely.
And I love T. Crane's comment. He'd love to see Russ, Hurts, and Allen next season.
Interesting.
That'd be a
So-
really cool 3.
I think I want to see like a true, like Mariota. Yeah, you know, he was a backup, but he's only really been to like 3 teams. And for the most part, he's
4
been
teams, yeah.
relatively successful. You know what I mean? Like, who is like the true journeyman, bounced around guy left?
Like a Case Keenum.
Yeah. Like,
Jacoby Brissett would be
something like- yeah.
Jacoby Brissett would be awesome.
yeah, something like that where it's like, especially because those guys, when you get into the family stuff and like having to move your wife and kids again or not, right? Or you're working away from them because they wanted to stay in the last place you were settled into or whatever that is, I think would be really interesting. Like, obviously, Allen Hurts, Russ, you're talking 3 super duper stars.
Yes.
Right. So, which I love.
But
And-
having that one guy, I think that was part of the genius of their Formula One series, was not just focusing on the top teams,
right.
but also those bottom teams that are like, expectations are different, and it's guys who are fighting to like stay in Formula One another year.
We're just happy to be here kind of guys.
Yeah. This year, I'm not sure there's a starter quite like that.
No, it's
I guess
kind of-
Baker.
That would be
Baker and Tampa.
fun. That would be fun.
That'd actually be legit crazy.
Man, Jared says he wants to see T-Law. Yo, me too. That would be fun.
Oh, yeah.
That would be a good one.
T-Law's a
That would
great
be a really
one.
good one.
Yes.
Okay, so if I had to pick, it'd probably be Russ. Give me a vet. Baker would be another good one. Because we just saw Mahomes, who's the all-time super duper star, and honestly, his home life stuff was kind of the most boring of all of them. You know, So give me those 2, and then give me. Oh, Joe Cool.
Burrow was be amazing.
Yo,
Yeah.
give me Joe Cool, dude.
Yeah.
Josh Allen would be great on this too because he's funny.
Is he? I think he'd be Cousins 2.0 in terms of like.
Josh Allen? Is that
Yeah.
who he said?
Yeah,
Well, he's not quite Cousins. Cousins, I mean, I think they're.
that guy is a mayonnaise sandwich on Wonder
Yeah,
Bread.
there might be.
It was so.
There might
you're
be
like,
priests who live more exciting lives than Kirk Cousins. My goodness.
it is crazy how like Cousins is going to have a really good career. You know, it's probably not a Hall of Fame career.
Yeah.
You know, but he's going to walk away with a 12, 13, 14 year NFL career. And he said, we built his trophy room in his house, and we built this slot here for a Lombardi. And you're like, man, it is so hard to win a Lombardi.
It gives you what I love about these kind of shows. It gives you such an appreciation for how insanely good and what a tight needle they've had to thread to have one of 32 jobs in the entire world.
Right.
And then on top of that, it's the stuff like, yeah, man, he's like a top 15 quarterback, and still
his entire career he's a top 15 quarterback.
Year to be a Super Bowl winning quarterback, that really is whew, what a mountain.
My wife goes
to
is he
climb,
going to win one? I'm probably not.
No.
It would take a weird season, right? It would take Justin Jefferson shooting fireballs out of his ass, unstoppable wide receiver mode.
Even then, I mean, so look, he could go to the Super Bowl. The NFC's pretty wide open after the Eagles. But gosh, then that means getting to a Super Bowl and beating Mahomes, Burrow, Allen.
Those guys with 2 weeks to prepare. Because you watch him prepare, right? And he's taking those little notes. He's drawing. Each page of his notebook is about, it's a full play diagram about that big, right? About the size of a 50-cent piece.
Yeah.
Which is insane, just meticulous, studying it, looking from one thing to the other, drawing out these plays. As training camp comes up, that's actually really the only training camp stuff we see the whole time is Cousins, right? And he's talking about, all right, we're just going to go one play at a time. We're going to walk down the field, so we know the difference between halo and sombrero, and we do this. And it's man, we think we know how complicated it is to be a quarterback, and then there's actually how much verbiage they have to know, how many, route trees they can move into on each play, how many run plays they can check into from the same set. It's just, it blows my mind.
Cousins is writing out his plays at the hotel before the Washington game,
Yeah.
There's just all that prep that goes into it.
Jared, I like your Danny Dimes idea, my guy. Absolutely.
Ooh,
New York.
Yes.
And what would be funny is because this is also the season, right? So it's going to be this NFL season that they're filming.
Yeah.
To show next summer.
Yes.
So Aaron Rodgers
is kind of need to make some decisions now.
So Aaron Rodgers is on the other side of this. It would be funny to see Danny Dimes in New York as the lesser quarterback. Right? That would be really interesting.
I mean, you name an NFL quarterback, it's I'm kind of in.
Right.
Especially for Broncos fans, Cousins is super boring. Mahomes, we don't necessarily want to see a whole series on Mahomes, and it's still good.
It's so good. Yeah.
And Mariota's boring as the most boring man alive.
I don't think he is.
He literally is, man.
He is.
I don't think the guy's got a pulse. He's it's troubling how boring he is.
I don't know. I love him. I want him to be a Bronco.
And I'm a Mariota guy, man.
I want him to be a Bronco so bad.
I kind of think what Perry Pal says. I don't know that Peyton would ever allow Russ on, but who knows, man? Who knows?
Did the Saints ever have a Hard Knocks under Peyton? No?
I want to say no, but let me know, chat.
I don't think they ever qualified for it.
But what's a qualified? What do you have to do to be?
It's you have to have a losing record, the same coach for over 2 years, and
Wait, really?
There's a lot of little things.
I just thought it was just based on vibes.
No, it can't. There's a lot of things that have to go into that for you to qualify.
Full vibes.
No, there's a bunch of little qualifiers that you got to reach.
Speaking of vibes, 25% off in-store purchases with code DNVR at Kind Love.
Kind Love.
A new partner with us the last month or so.
Best partner
Colorado's own farm to table. They grow it. They dispense it straight to you, their Colorado user, who can get 25% off in-store when you use code DNVR. They've been taking care of business since 2010. They've gotten our sales team out there in hazmat suits, seeing all the growth, seeing all the great work they're doing all over there. We've had a chance to try it out. They've got their Turbo Core, which is a little stick you can put in to just take you to the next level on whatever you're trying to get down on. They've got Turbo Keef. Dude,
dog.
it's,
Turbo, more turbo.
That's exactly right. Get it while it's hot. Flour Shelf, eighths for $20 out the door and ounces for $100 out the door. Visit one of their stores in Cherry Creek or North Denver. Mention DNVR and receive the DNVR exclusive discount for you, our listeners. 25% off all Kind Love flour, pre-rolls, and their turbo joint line. You can also visit their website at kindlove.com and use the code DNVR for online ordering and their full extensive menu. Man, we just have the
love
best.
Kind Love, dude. I love
they're,
Kind Love.
They're top notch. And we just have the best partners, man, because it's all these Colorado companies that truly care about our audience and our people.
Jared, my
and
guy.
what's more Colorado, Mitch, than Palisade peaches? Literally the nectar of the gods.
I do love a Palisade peach. My family has a peach orchard on the western slope. Not necessarily Palisade, but close enough. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Did you know the top like Palisade peaches get sent to like ritzy fancy hotels in New York and stuff? That's how like premium
I
that
actually
stuff is.
got a case of Palisade peaches. I split one with my mom because her church does the thing where you order a bunch of cases.
Woo!
And so we split one. We've been putting it on top of some shortcake, macerating them, little lemon juice, sugar, let them sit there and get all delicious.
Yeah, we've got pie crust at the house
Yeah.
ready to. So what's more Colorado than
Sorry.
Palisade peaches
Right.
combined with the Breckenridge Brewery, the OG homies of DNVR. You know Breck Brew. They have you covered with all their amazing beers. It's the perfect go-to for summer.
We love them.
You know, I mean,
Mountain Beach.
Mount Beach, Strawberry Sky, and now Palisade Peach. Try it out. It's Colorado AF.
Doesn't
It's
get more
summer AF. It's what you want in your mouth, refreshing you, and down your belly, making you feel warm and lovely inside. As always, go to the old Breck Brew beer locator on the old Weberooski. Check out where you can get a Breck Brew near you today. And, support them. They've been a longtime partner. They are a big part of making what we do every day possible.
Would it be possible to make a more Colorado beer?
No.
You'd have
No,
to
it
put
really
like
wouldn't.
rock climbing chalk and Forerunner power steering fluid.
Right. Yeah, like some people try to be Colorado by like making their beer cold, which by the way, you didn't do. I, the user, did by putting it in my fridge.
Correct.
These are true Colorado beers.
Colorado
right
ingredients, best Colorado brewery.
Damn
the absolute homies, dude. We love them.
Mitch, enough about Peyton Manning, Mahomes.
No way, but I love Peyton Manning.
Cousins, Marcus Mariota.
Jared, my guy, let's go.
Yeah, a little Russell Wilson. Wilson. I love that Jared's in on you, the count. So we're gonna rapid fire it up here,
Let's
my
go.
friend.
Hit me,
because,
baby. I'm ready.
as you know, we've got a full schedule of podcasts on the
it's
DNVR
you and me,
network. It's
baby.
you and me.
And yeah.
Damn straight. So we're going rapid fire here.
We're the three best friends that anyone could have.
How many games do you think Stidham plays this year?
I think he starts at most 2. Maybe gets a couple series when Russ breaks a rib and has to take a couple series off or something like that. But I don't see him playing a lot.
Okay. I like that. That's some good Russ optimism. Who leads the team in rushing yards? I would also set Stidham's over under at 2, by the way.
Leads the team in rushing yards. I'm going
You a
Samaje.
P-Ryan guy?
Yeah, I love Samaje.
Yeah, Javante, you need to kind of try to
Look,
take it easy to start.
Samaje's
things
a
off.
workhorse, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, like if you were in last year on the running back room post Javante, this is the A+ version of that workhorse
Yeah.
running back room that they finished the season with. I'm into Samaje. I want to see it. Great blocking back, can play all 3 downs if you need him to.
Oh yeah.
I think it was it was one of those signings where it happened and I was like, never in a million years would I have put that on my target list.
Yeah.
And yet as soon as it happened, I was like, I could not be more in on Samaje. So yeah, give me Samaje.
This team just needed more like veteran, experienced skill position players, and having a guy like Samaje Perine in this offense with that quarterback, I think, is really going to be extraordinaire.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm big on Samaje too. And I mean, we've talked about the splits here. Like, I think you still get Javante's touches and you manufacture his touches the right way, but Samaje is going to be more of your like down in, down out, between the tackles runner, and that's where you're going to get your rushing
Latavius
yards.
Murray-esque.
Yeah.
Which when Sean Payton come up, I don't know why we didn't re-sign him. He's a Sean Payton back, has been.
They want Samaje, bro.
I get it. Totally get it. I was so in, though. I
like them too.
And, you know, you had guys like Marlon Mack, who like has had a couple moments here and there as a receiving guy. You know, I don't know. I'm just in. Give me Samaje. Easy.
Love it. Big question. Who's leading the team in receiving yards, my friend?
Jerry.
We're all pretty jerried up this season.
Jerry is the only NFL rookie I've ever bought a jersey of.
Wow. We were so hyped when he came out. So hyped.
I didn't even work here yet. I was actually almost a full calendar year from working here, a little more, and I just went for it. I realized I had auto pay on a credit card during the pandemic that I wasn't using because we weren't going anywhere, and all of a sudden I had like $100 free to spend, and so I
love that.
got a Jerry Jeudy, and
so much.
It scares me buying NFL jerseys especially.
Yes.
And so
well,
based on
you're a footy head. Those are the scariest jerseys to buy.
Sure. I think they're all scary. They're all scary because you never know. Injury, bust, potential, all that stuff.
Yeah, as a rookie, I feel you.
And I love Jerry. I'm in. Scary Jerry. I'm trying to get that going. Hasn't caught on as much as I wanted it to.
I'm trying to get Jerry, can't you see? Sometimes your routes just hypnotize me.
Little Jer Bear?
Yeah, a little Jer Bear, but that's not taking off either. So we'll keep trying.
Jerry is the answer though. I think Cortland and Tim are gonna kind of play some overlapping skill sets, not in a bad way. But they're gonna stretch out that defense so Jerry can find the.
I'm low key in on Tim Patrick.
Loved him.
Big time this year.
Loved him.
But I mean, yeah, he is behind the eight ball and creating that rapport.
Yeah.
With Russie Wilsey, who leads the team in sackaroos. Gregory, the easy answer, but often injured. Frank
I know
Clark,
who you
more
want
of a playoff performer.
I know who you want to lead the team in sacks.
It's any one of the young guys. I don't know that I
love Baron Browning.
I am a big
That is
Baron
your guy.
Brown.
You're as Baron Browning pilled as anyone I've ever talked to in my life.
That's probably true because there were points last season where he had some flashes that I was like, "Oh my god, is Vaughn back?
Right?
Is Vaughn back on the team?" Like when you show me that kind of like a bend and explosiveness off the edge, like my favorite football player all time is probably Lawrence Taylor.
Well,
I just love
sure.
a dynamic pass rusher off the edge. I love Von Miller. You know, I mean, truly like
he's the GOAT.
Yeah.
I guess here's my pick. Are you ready? We haven't even said his name yet.
Thanks to count.
We haven't even said his name yet.
Lay it on us.
Give me Benito, baby.
Anything is possible.
Anything is possible. I might be
more in on Drew Sanders though.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Look, you are definitely more of a film guy, prospect, NFL draft guy.
Sure.
So when I watch film, it's not the same. And I am fully here to admit that I'm a vibes guy.
Vibes rule the world.
Love Benito's vibe as a pass rusher. I like
that he's there.
And he's not huge, right?
Oh, he's small.
It's agile, it's quick, it's fast. And it's what you need now, especially watching this quarterback show that we just watched where the processing speed these guys have to have now is so fast. To have a guy like that, I hope he has his season. This is more of me wanting one of the draft picks where we didn't have a lot of draft picks to hit. And that's really what it is for me, is like I just want him to be a plus.
What a great point. It would be nice if a few of these recent draft picks hit.
Yeah.
That's why maybe I'm in on Browning.
That said, Clark and
Frank Clark, Randy Gregory.
Randy Gregory. Thank you. I don't know why I keep doing that one, but
talk about a lot of names.
Kevin, our PIDS regular, my guy. But those two together is pretty nice. Like that's like a. I don't know if it's the best pass rushing duo in the league, but it's probably the best pass rush outside rushing duo in the division. Nope. Bosa and Mac in San Diego. I forgot about that. So second best. I mean, look, they're going to be fun. They're going to get some sacks. It's going to be a good time.
Yeah. The Raiders drafted Tyree Wilson to play opposite Max Crosby,
who we just saw how to really, knows how to play Mahomes.
Certainly. And I mean, the Chiefs drafted Karlaftis just last year and have drafted and developed some guys. Zach Allen could lead the team in sacks.
Interesting. I didn't think about that. Question for you.
Sure.
Frank Clark. He's played a lot of football against Mahomes.
He has.
Just in practice. He's seen him a lot.
Yeah.
He knows how he works.
Yeah.
Is there actually a benefit of that experience? Or is it just Mahomes is too good, Andy Reid's system is too good? It doesn't really matter what Frank Clark comes in and tells his pass rushing room and the coaches on the defensive side. Is there any sort of advantage for this defense against Mahomes because he's around and has seen it?
It's absolutely an advantage, no doubt. It's just good to have as much info as you possibly could, as many... Like, us just watching this series, I feel like, he is human. Even if you don't bring him down, you keep him on the move, you keep coming after him, he's going to get tired out. It's going to lead to lesser decision-making, and, once you're tired, you're not scrambling as fast, right? It all makes sense.
Yeah.
And maybe that it doesn't exactly take a former teammate to tell you that.
Sure.
But yeah, I think it does help, can be an advantage. Will it actually matter? He's hard to say. I mean,
he's been on the practice field where, say, a mistake has been made, right? And he's heard Andy Reid walk in, or a quarterback coach or Bieniemy walk in and go, no. When this happens, I need you to do this. And it's something that might not show up on film every time, but it's like a tendency sort of situation where it's like, this is what I want you to do when that mistake happens, right? Even though Mahomes is obviously so offbeat, so off book, can do whatever, improvise. Right. But if you know that when X happens, Y is where they want to go with it, maybe that's where you start to see it.
Yeah. No, I do think it can be an advantage.
Cool.
It's I've got a couple more questions because it looks like we're skimping on questions from you guys, which is okay. It's Friday. But first, Shady Rays. My favorite sunglasses in the whole world. These are awesome. Real deal Holyfield lenses. What do they call those? Polarized?
Polarized. Like a polar bear, baby.
Which, this summer, we've needed. The guys are out in Vegas. I was up at Zachy Stevens' wedding. I don't know if you've ever heard.
You were at the Numby's nuptials?
Numby's nuptials in the mountains because he do Colorado AF.
The Numby's nupties?
And I got to see Zach in all his splendor. You guys should have seen him. This dynamic, beautiful suit. He had these pimped out black shoes, no socks showing.
Oh, the no-shows.
And me and Hank all dressed up in our suits, seen him through our beautiful polarized lenses. That high altitude sun, it was baking us in our suits, but our eyes had no issues thanks to Shady Rays. And it's not just the lenses, man. These are great glasses, great material. They're not some cheapo thing you got from the gas station. Tons of styles. Schwan Man was showing me his latest ones. He's got some super cool glasses. They're like Broncos colors. I don't know how he ended up with that. What part of the website should I have found those? So anyways, check them all out. They're designer quality and, with the lenses and everything. And they're already like a third of the price from what you'd find from any other designer with any kind of sunglass of this quality. On top of that, our users can use code DNVR for 50% off when you buy 2 pairs. Shady Rays is going to hook you up with some other stuff as well. And that's on top of their great customer service where you could, they've been stolen or you lost them or you damaged them. First 30 days, they will help you out. Exclusively for our listeners, Shady Rays is giving out their best deal of the season. Go to shadyrays.com. Use code DNVR for 50% off 2+ pairs of polarized sunglasses. Try it for yourself. Shades rated 5 stars by over 250,000 people, man. They are awesome.
We love them.
We really do. We really do. I cannot endorse them enough. Couple more rapid fires and then a shout out to PS Deuce. Broncos over under 8.5 wins. You said Riley's higher than you. How low are you?
I think I go under by half a game.
8 and 9.
Yeah.
No playoffs.
No.
But a significant improvement.
One game? How many games did they win?
I think they won 5.
Oh, you're right. For some reason, I had 7 and 10 in my head. Look,
it's a well set line. There's no doubt about it.
I think the range is 7 to 10. And I think if you run that simulation, you're seeing 7 and 8 65-75% of the time.
Huh?
Right? I think things can break the right way. Maybe you see a Herbert injury or
anything can happen.
Correct. Maybe there's Vegas could be the dumpster fire that it can always be.
Absolutely. Jimmy G, not many believers.
I actually really like Jimmy G.
Get out of here.
Come on.
Stop it.
What's not to like?
All the injuries and him being bad at quarterback.
Oh, I just mean I like him.
Oh.
He's handsome. He seems personable.
Yeah, I mean, it's cool. He talks to cheerleaders and stuff, no doubt.
I think they're adult film stars.
Also.
Yeah.
Also.
Good for him.
In Vegas. That's going to be his town, man. That's going to be his town.
I'll be there next week. I'll say what's up.
Yeah, absolutely. Next offseason.
Yeah.
Do the Broncos finally have the same defensive and offensive play caller? Or is the defense so sick Vance leaves? Does the offense struggle and Sean Payton's like, I'm giving away play calling duties?
As you know, well aware, not a big Vance guy.
Gosh.
Not a huge Vance guy.
Not many are. Not many are in our world.
Being said.
Yes.
If I liked what he did in Arizona.
Yeah.
I don't think they were the problem. I don't see him being the problem. I think he has a lot of good leaders on that side of the ball. I don't think there was like the big name I wanted to see on the defensive side of the ball in terms of like a free agent. I still think middle linebacker is kind of one of the spots where you can find a guy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think if everything goes well for Vance, I don't know how much it's Vance and how much it's just a good defense, solid defense with vets everywhere. But I also believe in not rocking the boat, especially after the turmoil we've had since Peyton left. So I'm going to say yes.
Continuity. It is sometimes everything in sports. Really is. Really is so important.
Russ deserves it.
The defense deserves. This whole team
Simmons deserves it.
Yeah. I mean, PS2 deserves the whole team.
We do love some PS2.
Everyone deserves it. We do have a comment in the pod. DNVR members can comment on the pod. Find the post on our website, ddnvr.com. PS Deuce, first-time commenter, long-time listeners. You guys got me. Let's go.
Good job, Broncos, guys.
Let's go.
Good job, Broncos, guys.
No questions at this time.
I hope we don't lose him for you.
Oh, man. Stick with us. Zach's back on Monday, I promise. No questions at this time. Just wanted to reach out and say how much I appreciated all of the content you guys produce. We appreciate you. We appreciate all your support. I appreciate you, Big Mitch, this lovely Friday. Helping out. Don't leave me hanging there.
Oh, I didn't know. I thought you were pointing. Sorry.
Big Yaya. He's got more shows to produce coming soon. He might actually be on a show. We are soccer build, ready for some Women's World Cup.
Yes.
Ready for Numbies to be back.
Come to the bar tonight.
Watch the U.S. Women's. We have some awesome giveaways. And yeah, man, have a great weekend. We'll be back at it. Camp coming up soon. Stay safe.